So let us teleport back into Novigrad. Or rather, I mean, we could do Novigrad. I meant Oxenford, though. I meant Oxenford. We were saying that we don't necessarily have the specialist that we're looking for, which may or may not actually be the case, and therefore maybe that is reason to deliberately go to Novigrad instead, but I think we'll be fine here. Ultimately, we have armor, and we also have chest plates, or weapons we can sell. So, no matter which kind of specialist we're going with, we would still have stuff to do. And, like I think we were saying previously, it's not immediately clear to me as to, or at least I originally thought that it did matter, that you wanted to sell weapons to blacksmiths and sell armors to armorsmiths, or armorers. But, it seemed as though when we were looking to do that not long ago, that didn't make a difference. It was that we were getting the same price regardless of which type of person we were selling it to. I mean, it wasn't a generalist. So that way it was a little bit different. But, oh, this is the armor in question. But, could we say, just sell our weapons to this guy as well? Perhaps? That might still work. Let's check it out. Either way, I think we'll have enough stuff here to sell to you to get below our threshold.
For me, an interesting one.
Yes. Let us sell things.
Show me what you have in stock.
Could perhaps even break things down into components. That might give us a little bit of additional weight too. So you're an armor. So in theory, what we want to do is sell things like this to you. That is definitely fair game. All of our well, we'll keep the fancy stuff, because, you know, we want to be able to dress up on a whim, if necessary. But these low-level armors, I mean, this is technically better from a resistance standpoint, but again, that's because this is heavy armor, and we're wearing light armor. But it has lower armor rating, despite being heavy armor, so we'll definitely keep with what we have right now. And similar story with this. Keep those fancy boots. The chest plates are going to be the really heavy ones. Because, yeah, this one is 12.49. So let's dump that, because that will certainly get us below the threshold now. And then these other ones, this is... we might have been using this at one point. Or is this one that we just picked up? It might have been. Because this is also a light armor here. Yeah, we have a few of these level 14, level 15 light armors that could be worth swapping to in some instances, but I think for the most part we're going to be fine with our feline armor. So let's dump them. And this guy is going to, at this stage, be pretty low on coins. So here there are more diagrams for glyphs. Okay, these ones are glyphs, whereas previously we were looking at runestones, so I suppose I may not have been distinguishing all that much from them in the past, which might have been why it seemed like everyone was selling all of them. I was gonna say, like, is this person just offering to sell stuff that we already have? I don't think that's actually the case. So again, could perhaps be worth picking these up just so that they stop showing up, and whenever we see these diagrams, we know it's something new that we want to pick up. Now, this person is also selling some of these things that we saw other people selling, and we could perhaps have a better sense as to whether the prices we saw in the other place were too high or too low. These prices are way higher. They are like double the price, if not more. So yes, that does suggest that the place we were looking at previously had much better prices. I think meteorite ingot was, yeah, half this price before, and same with meteorite ore. So I think we did do a good job of picking those things up in the previous shop then in that case, and we probably do want to pass on these here. So that is a good indication, or good confirmation of that there. So I do wonder if, like, is that affiliate? Is that because this guy is a specialist? He's an armorer, and therefore he sells everything at a more expensive price? And so whenever we find a generalist who's selling these jewels and metals, that we want to buy from them instead, because they're going to have better prices on that stuff. Again, it exactly which items are getting marked up, and which items are, I suppose, exactly which items we can buy for more or less, and which items we can sell for more or less in a given type of shop, that is still a question of mine. Is that my initial perception, based on what you guys were telling me and based on what I had seen, I have seemingly had to reevaluate that a bit as of late, and now I'm no longer sure. So, like, here I think we absolutely pass on this stuff, because we could just proceed to go back to the other guy and get it at a better price. And could we sell more stuff to you? We could sell this, and it is worth 422, and it also weighs 16.64, so yeah, we definitely want to dump that. Then this might have been the armor that we were talking about using previously, because it is also light and it is relic, not just rare. So yeah, let's dump this. And this one, it's level 13 versus 17 of the one that we have right now, so it does have some better resistances. So if you knew that you were going to need to have resistance to piercing or bludgeoning or slashing damage, then you could theoretically hold on to it and swap over to it in those circumstances. But I just think that I don't think we've ever done that before. I don't really anticipate us ever doing it, so I think let's just sell it. And can we sell you these items here at a premium price or not? Is this still a good deal for us here? Or do we actually need to make it over to a blacksmith in order to get the better price when we sell these? I don't really know, but we have, at the very least, made it such that we have a lot more room in our inventory right now after getting rid of our heaviest of armors. So it's not desperate anymore that we get rid of them, but we do have a ton of these guys here. So even if they're only 2-3 weight apiece, that may not be much individually, but just look at the sheer volume of them alone. I mean, we have, what, 20 of these in our inventory right now? Seemingly at least, maybe even more. So we'll pass on that for now. We could perhaps dismantle some things, because I think we might have picked up some stuff recently. It wouldn't be bad in that regard. Ooh. Silver and amber out of this. Does cost 103 to dismantle it, but that does sound intriguing. And the candelabrum, that actually gives us not just silver, but silver ingot. Yeah, that's quite good. Let's do that. And the teapot, that only gives us ore, so not quite as good, but silver is silver. So then, other things that give us metals, like I said, I think generally speaking, that's something that I do like to be able to do. Give ourselves a little bit more of that. I think iron ore, if we wanted to make a point of buying that from shopkeepers, then we could get a lot of it, because it is pretty darn cheap, especially if you compare that to things like the meteorite that we were picking up previously. Silver. So that may be the easier, certainly the easier way of doing it. Is it more cost efficient to do it that way? Maybe, not sure. We need all this timber. Perhaps not. Fine. Can we keep the jump rope? This is a little bit heavy. Let's get rid of this. And then these are probably also going to be heavy, although we could sell them for a little bit. As I said in the past, I do like selling the hides. They're typically, of the various junk items, worth among the most. And you hardened timber or I guess. Let's just get rid of most of this stuff here, perhaps. We'll do that, except for the hides. We'll keep those and just sell them directly. All this other stuff, though, yeah, let's break you down. You are expensive, but I think we're getting big things out of this. So this definitely looks like it's worthwhile from a cost standpoint. Like amber, and what was the other part? Silver? I mean, we saw that trying to buy amber from him previously might have been a different type of amber. Like, is it flawless amber? Possibly, I don't know. But, yeah, I think that's a big pickup. Other things down here. Oh, we saw... Hold on. While we are dismantling things, there was the question of, what was it, like, the lead? And I don't think it's this. This is, I'm pretty sure it's incense. Yeah. But where is that lead? I would like to break that down and see what we get out of it, at the very least. Is it even here? Moon dung, no. Elemental essence, no. It looks kind of like that. But it seems like it's just not something that we can break down, and maybe that's a thing? Maybe there are just some things that you are not allowed to break down because they can't be broken down any further, I'm not sure. We can break down the note and turn it, or we can break down the letter from Dudu and turn it into a note. That is, interesting, I suppose, but probably not a good idea. We read this? Oh, yeah, we absolutely have. Okay. Yeah, I just don't think that the lead is here, unless it's over in this section, but I don't think it is. Oh, wow, you get a lot out of the repair kits. I mean, that was a super powerful one. That's probably why, but it was a little alarming, no less. Okay. Yeah, so in that case, I think we're probably good here. Let's double check real quick if there's anything else hanging around here that we want to break down. I don't think so. So let's just do a quick sell of our furs over... oh, not here. Over here? Hold on a second. Wait. What? Do we break them down? No, you just won't buy them from... Oh, you're not a general salesperson. That's why. You're only interested in our weapons and armor. Understood. So, once again, we're going to get a lot of these updates here, saying that we can now craft a bunch of things. We did buy a bunch of those. But now we have the ability to load up our inventory on a lot more stuff. So, I think for that reason, we are free. Head back down over here and see what this gives us. What kind of encounter we talk about? Don't know. And also, where is the nearest fast travel location? I didn't really check. But I would hope that there is one over here, perhaps. In this general area. Let's not loop that directly in front of you guys. That will get us in trouble. Yeah, this bridge, at the end of it, I think we will find one. Right over here? Yeah, okay. We do this, and then we can head back over to the relatively new fast travel location that we uncovered there. Convenient. And now this time, Roach is back here. Hey, what's up, Roach? We may or may not have left it there for a very long period of time. But let's actually mark this on our map. Why don't we? So, oh, it's quite close. We arguably didn't even need to because we were about to head that way. It's a hidden treasure. Sure. But like, where? Over here? Or like anyone or anything guarding it? There are some kind of enemies over there. NILFGAARDIAN's notes. Okay, what's the deal? Join the army, they said. You'll kill Nordlings, they said. You'll carry the Great Sun banner to the Dragon Mountains. You'll be the Emperor, or you'll make the Emperor proud. No, you'll not be the Emperor. That'd be a stretch. So I enlisted. And they sent me to Velen. If this is what the whole North is like, and I swear on all the gods, I don't have a clue why we're even bothering. Nothing but filth, flap, and graves. I've been sitting here for 2 months. Haven't seen a single Redanian yet. Instead of fighting, they got us running errands, each stupider than the last. Now the sergeant sent us to find some chests. Baubles robbed from the Northling seems. Fell off a wagon as the transport was headed south. We've been wandering this swamp for 3 days now. Only things we found was a hole. A whole real boot and a cow's skull. What a waste. If we come back without the chest, they'll send us to the hole and deduct 3 weeks' wages. So we're going to keep searching. The glory of the fatherland. Lost goods. Okay, so there is a new quest coming from this guy here, so that's good. I'm curious as to what the deal is here. They're weak grounders at that. There is a little bit of loot, though. I mean, not really good. But, well, some glyphs. And hides. And phosphorus. That's not bad. Okay, you go down, please. How dare you interrupt our looting session? That was even more weird. Okay, you guys are also here to spoil the party. There's a chest there. So there could be more decent stuff. There's the other drowner. Probably should have waited for you to stop by before I ate you there. There's another one. I think this is the last one. If you could pop up, that would be preferable. So that we don't have to wait for you to all dramatically reveal yourselves. And so like, now once this one goes down, then you come up. Any day now. There we go. Okay. So we'll take this, and then I was noticing this chest here. Ooh, well, apparently we finished the quest. I didn't even look at it, but apparently this was where it was trying to send us. So, force blinders, armor, dust, timber. Sure. So, okay. That was a quick one. Anything else over here, or will that be that? We can check what the deal is here. We're gonna have to search through a long list of completed quests. I don't necessarily think these are in chronological order here, or are they? No, I don't think so. So, yeah. What was it? It was Lost Goods? I want to see what the description was, because of course we finished it. Oh, that's last rites. Finished it so quickly that didn't really get the chance to see what it was all about. Or at least what the description was, but, you know, maybe we're good here. Not hazardous goods. Yeah, you know, at this point, perhaps... Now, these are all contracts. We might have went over it. Lost goods, there we go. So, read the notes you found, which we did ultimately do, then immediately found the lost chest using our, well, I suppose we did? We didn't really use our Witcher senses. While meandering the bogs of Ellen, Geralt found some notes written by a frustrated soldier. He decided to read them, and they turned out to be a quite interesting read indeed. For in the army, they said, oh, okay, well, I mean, if you're going to give us the whole description here, then I suppose we've already read that. Witcher found the chest. Sadly, nearby he also found the bodies of the guards who were charged with protecting it. They were killed by drowners, like many before them. I mean, those drowners were fairly straightforward enemies, so I hate to break it to you, but if soldiers can't defend themselves against those guys, then sorry, but they're not going to be too great when it comes to battle against more serious enemies. So, with that, I think that means that, well, we've done everything in this area now. Because, yeah, I mean, we saw there were several things that we did not expect to encounter here, and good thing that we did ultimately double back. We are close to level 19, notably. Well, let's see if there are any other quests that we want to make a point of doing here. Because, definitely want to stick with secondary quests for right now, I think. And ones that are in Velen / Novigrad / Oxenfurt. We still have not tried this one here. Don't know where that person is, but presumably if we were to, say, put it on our list here. Did we find this was in Oxenfurt? It might have been. Where does this lead us? No, actually, oh! There is a Scoia'tael camp over here. I do remember that we dropped by one at one point in time. Okay, that could perhaps be worth doing soon. Otherwise, let's see what else we could consider doing here. Anything that seems like it's a particularly good fit for us from a level standpoint. We did, of course, attempt to fight the Fists of Novigrad final enemy, but we were unsuccessful in doing so when we were level 17 when we did that. So it's closer now, but this might be something that we want to wait until we reach level 19 before doing, and we're almost there. Deadly Plot, that is, well, taken out Radovid, and this is taken out Philippa, and so these are things that, yes, we definitely do want to do soon, and we were talking a while ago about what our thoughts are on those, so I think we are ready to do that in the not-so-distant future. But do we have things like, yeah, Witcher contracts that are level 22 is probably a decent fit. That's one level lower than the other quest that we were talking about earlier, and the one that is the level 23 quest we were talking about is a fist fight, so we don't have any gear, any like weapons or armor, so that makes things a little bit tougher than usual. So I think this is probably, despite only being one level lower, a fair bit easier. And the Patrol Gone Missing is also the quest for this area way down here that I was talking about, that we theoretically do want to stop by at some point. And now that we are done with just exploring Novigrad and just exploring Oxenfurt, this is perhaps the only major settlement, if you want to call it that we have yet to check out in this area here. As for things up further north and east of the cities, and there are little villages, it seems, that we've yet to find, but I think those are a little bit more minor than this area down here, or at least the population of this section is, I mean, it looks like it could even be bigger than Novigrad, but I have my doubts as to whether we'll actually be able to go inside there, so I'm curious. Let's check this place out. At the very least, we'll turn in that quest there, but we might find that there's more to do in that area, because we actually happened across the quest accidentally as we were going through exploring Southern Velen. So, here. And, yeah, like, you Nilfgaardians are likely going to be guarding this gate and saying, like, absolutely no passage.
A deserter from the Scoy tent.
Winds howling.
Okay. I'm not sure they have anything special to say to us. So, wait, can we hop this? We might actually be able to hop that. I'm not sure we want to, because it could very well lead to everyone in that encampment getting mad at us and having an army, quite literally, an army of Nilfgaardians fighting us. So you know what we're going to do. You know we're going to try. So, can we make it happen? Is the question. Can we, like, get on this and then do that? Come on, Geralt. Oh, it's so close. It's so close. It is so unbelievably close. It's tempting. I mean, I don't think we were supposed to be able to do it, but at the same time, it looks like one could maybe find a way to make it happen. We'd like to get in trouble, and we are almost trapped here. Nearly got stuck. So, probably not a great idea. You know, take the hint from the really ominous music as well. We probably shouldn't be pushing our luck here. Where is the actual area in here that we are expecting to find people, though? Oh, this is the House of Respite. This is actually not the full-blown, whatever you want to call this area here. So, we could see if we can go through the main door there, but, I mean, that's where the, presumably, where the guards were blocking the way, right? So, I think it just appears as though, I mean, I expect that at some point, yes, we will be able, yeah, this, right, is the main door? Let's just double check. Yeah, it is. Okay. So it does seem like, I'm assuming at some point we will have reason to go there. I mean, of course, the whole Nilfgaard trying to invade the north thing is a pretty large, overarching theme. Nilfgaardian Army Center Camp. Okay, we did also hear a bazillion, or read a bazillion notes that were referring to this camp here, saying that everyone was supposed to report to this camp, which is perhaps understandable. That this is where people are supposed to go, because it looks absolutely ginormous.
What do you want?
Hey, you!
Oh, hello!
Geralt of Rivia, correct? You were in
Who's
one
asking?
orchard recently, near Vijima.
Perhaps?
Charming village, if you don't mind rotting corpses.
There'd have been one more if not for you. Lena, she survived, thanks to your potion.
Oh, the
Nice
person
to see a NILFGAARDIan
we gave the
soldier
potion
so
to. She
concerned
survived.
about the fate of some simple Nordling. Kind of surprising, too.
That night, when the griffin attacked her, she was on her way to meet me
Oh.
in the woods near the garrison.
Love knows no bounds, or lousy place for rendezvous? I mean, that does seem like... Okay, so you're an Nilfgaardian, she was an Nordling, so that relationship that you very much appear to have had with her was not really something that your officers would be terribly pleased with, because you are, well, having a relationship with the enemy. But yeah, you know, like, when there's a griffin out and about, going into the woods by yourselves, probably not a great idea, but yeah, you know, love knows no bounds.
Love knows no bounds.
Not so. Her parents told her that if they saw her with a Nilfgaardian, they would shave her head, cut out her tongue, and banish her from their home.
Yeah.
Listen, Lena, she has not fully recovered.
From the griffin or from her
I
parents for
took
ripping out
her
her
with
tongue?
me when I was transferred. Thought she might get better. But no, she says nothing, recognizes no one, sleeps most of the day.
Or because we gave her a
I
Witcher
warned
potion?
Tamira. Witcher potions
Yeah.
have powerful, usually permanent side effects. Can't do anything to help now. Maybe a mage could.
I don't know whether to thank you or curse you for not letting her die with dignity.
Trust me, choice I had to make was harder.
Interesting. Okay, so we did... I was wondering for a very long time if we would ever hear what the repercussions there were for that decision that we made, and I'm surprised that this is the place where we're hearing about it. I was expecting for it to happen in White Orchard, and I think we even doubled back over to that spot just to talk to the person who we were making that potion with to see if we could hear what happened, but we never heard word. So, okay. As one might have expected, she appears to have suffered from side effects from the potion, but she's alive. So I think that's largely what we expected, and so I don't remember too many of the details above and beyond that, but I guess we can stand by that decision and say that, well, assuming that we figured that was the right thing to do based on what we knew at the time and what we expected to happen, then I suppose it worked out as planned. Of course, we'd love if she did not have those side effects, but this person theoretically will give us a side quest here, so on to this here.
He served in the Nazari cavalry. I must find him. I simply must.
I'm not one of your soldiers.
This is good. Our army refused to help. Yet help is what I need. So much so, I will ask a rock troll if required.
Interesting train of thought, ma'am.
You, comparing us to a rock troll, are you? Better not be. Well, then again, I suppose... Low is top of the list, yes. And if you're comparing us to him, then I suppose that's quite the compliment. Anyone else, though?
Why'd you
Not
decide
cool.
to look for your son now?
He wrote letters to me, to his fiancée, regularly. They would come in the post each week. And suddenly, they stopped. This was unlike him. Something had happened, I knew.
So, he might be dead. But if the soldiers told you anything about him...
His brothers in arms tell you anything?
Some will not speak at all, others lie. This quartermaster, for instance, he told me Herodoberth, my son, left the camp to scout and did not return.
Why is that? Unlikely?
That
He
seems
serves in
reasonable.
the light cavalry, Nazari brigade. My son was no scout. I require someone's help to find Herodoberth, or his body. Coin is no object.
Okay. Also, that music cutting out was very alarming there. I was going to say, very dramatic in this area. It gives it a very gloomy feel. And, you know, it doesn't help you Nilfgaardians with trying to make the case that you're not this terrible group of people who only creates anguish and suffering wherever you go. And same with this store here, but what does he look like? Maybe
What's
we
your
can
son
find it
look
for you.
like?
Unlike others, easily distinguished.
Oh?
In all Nilfgaard's army, I do not think there was another with his mane. The color of fire.
Oh.
A red-haired Nilfgaardian?
What?
His father hailed from Magturga. Folk have light complexions there. My son inherited this trait, and others, from his father. May I count on your help?
Yeah. Sure.
Do my best to help you.
You will not regret it. There is nothing I would not do for Herodobirth. Remember this.
I'll ask around, see if I can learn something.
My servant strove to do the same. He drank with the soldiery in the mess, but met no one from my son's company. It is as if it has ceased to exist. You must speak to the quartermaster. He is dismissive of me, but he will be more candid with you. I can feel it. A mother feels these things.
Guess we'll see.
Okay. So, blood ties. I'm assuming that if we were to try to loot anything here at all, then we would have an entire army going against us, so probably ignore that for now. So there is a lot. Those, I'm guessing, are dogs in this direction here. Yeah, guard dogs. These guys are seemingly, well, I mean, I don't know. On one hand, it's not like Velen has the most well-established and beautiful settlements in all the land, but you guys here do seem like you're very much on the move, which is fitting, of course, well, with you being a moving army, of course. So, it does make sense that this is looking like a bit of a temporary setup here. This is tempting to take, but definitely don't want to do that, I don't think.
Long live Novigrad, sir.
Greetings.
You are a merchant that we apparently have met before, for some reason.
Wouldn't mind a look at your stock.
Despite us never having been this far into this area before. I do remember, though, that very recently, in fact, we were considering trading with a merchant who gave us, or who was offering, a greater Velis runestone. This image looks familiar, but that is strange that you ended up here. I mean, we could perhaps sell a little bit of stuff here, but I don't think we have much because we've been selling pretty regularly. Got some stuff from that chest that we opened from the recent quest. That's about it, though. So, sure. Stick with that. That's about all you have to offer.
Farewell.
So that's you. Nilfgaardian messenger? Peasants? Yeah, it's interesting that there's this combination of, yes, lots of Nilfgaardian soldiers, of course, but noble people? Not immediately clear to me as to what they're doing on what is more or less the front lines. Peasants make a little more sense because, well, the soldiers do need some people to help them chop wood and hunt for food and all that stuff, assuming that they can't bring all that stuff with them for an extended stay here. Is this a different merchant here? Yes, I think so. You also look familiar, though.
Show me what you have in stock.
You guys just all hanging out here with the Nilfgaardians? Kinda seems like it. Yes, like this is half price relative to what we were seeing previously. What is this? Lesser Glyph of Infusion. Used to craft gear and items. I've never seen this before. I don't think. I'm tempted to pick that up. Let's give it a shot. And then I am a little tempted to also buy all the amber as well. And or these other things here. So yeah, this is definitely half the price we saw, or maybe not quite half the price, but a fraction of the price at the very least, that we saw from the previous shopkeeper who was a specialist. So, at least the previous shopkeeper who was selling these things. If we were to go crazy and buy all of it, then we would, of course, be spending a pretty hefty sum. We've been doing a fair bit of that recently. So I'm not necessarily sure we want to be doing that every single time we run into one of these people, because as we are seeing here, does mean that we will be spending coins more quickly than we earned them, notably. So we could sell a bit of stuff to you. We get rid of a few more of our, I mean, maybe a few more than that, of our crafting ingredients that we picked up, because we fought a few more enemies as of late. But I don't think this is going to make a huge difference here. For the most part, we're talking about some pretty darn expensive things that we're considering buying. So we would have to sell all of this type of crafting material, and probably then some, if we were to make up for the amount of coins that we're spending on just one of those types of items. So, I mean, we'll, again, do a little bit here and there, but that's still I think, 1,000 or 2,000 coins down from when we started making all these purchases. And the meteorite ingot, I mean, that is pretty cheap. So I do still think that's not a bad idea. But when we're talking about things like the diamonds and emeralds and rubies, I don't really know what the use for them is. I mean, there presumably are some crafted materials that require them, but whatever they are, I don't think we've had much, if any, need for them yet. I mean, maybe some of those rare Witcher School types of gear that might be necessary, but we're doing that so infrequently that I think making a point of purchasing these when they are this expensive is maybe not as worthwhile, whereas things like meteorite ore and ingots and silver are things that I think we're going to want a little more regularly. So I think that's a little bit of a safer bet there, and still, we're talking 170 coins there for 2 items versus if we were to, say, go for diamonds, 859 for one of them. So I think that's much easier to justify at the very least. And then dark iron, that's been hard to get outside of buying this. So that's a lot. Suppose we'll spend a bit there and basically just spend the same amount that we would have spent on one of these valuable crafting components here, and instead spread that out across meteorite and silver and dark iron. And like silver actually the most expensive of that group. A little bit surprising, but yeah, I think we have seen that is generally the case. So like, does that mean we're willing to go another 574 coins in on this? Let's do it. And then I think we probably draw the line in the sand now and say that, all right, that's enough of that. We've made a point of, for a while now, picking up more of those ingredients, and does mean that because we've spent very few of them at this stage, we should have a lot stockpiled up. So I'm hoping that we're in a good place. Whenever we do find that we need those, we're going to have more than enough. So probably no reason to purchase more of them at this stage. We'll of course continue to find more as we loot other areas, but I think we're doing okay in that regard. So there's so many merchants here. You're one that we already talked to. We just talked to you, which means we haven't yet talked to the smith. Where is it? Which one? You're the actual merchant here?
Buying or just perusing?
Have we talked to you? I mean, it's grayed out, so at some point, yes. But, are you the person we just bought all this stuff from? I don't think so, because you still have meteorite ingots. And so again, temptation to buy more of them, but as we were saying, I think we hold off for now. At least until we get the chance to sell some of those other things to a specialist and make a little bit more coins so that we aren't just bleeding cash. That is kind of what we're doing at the moment. I mean, it's of our own accord, so we can of course stop whenever we like, and I'm thinking that's what we do here. And you are saying that we should stop as well, so sure about that? Okay. So, what else do we do here? We could, of course, put on the specific quest that we just picked up, Blood Ties. Talk to the quartermaster about the noblewoman's son. It is level 12, which is a decent fit for us right now. That's roughly around the same level as at least the lowest level things we have at the moment. But you're all the way down there. I think that is also the person we need to talk to turn in the contract that we technically did over here without speaking to you in advance, accidentally. So there's definitely more stuff over here. And again, don't think we're going to be able to loot much of anything. So mostly just seeing, are there other people here that we want to talk to? Maybe the Witcher senses aren't really necessary for that reason. For the most part, we're going to find these guys are all soldiers, of course. That certainly still seems to be the case. And there's no shortage of them. Of course, we've seen them spread out a lot across Velen, but this is understandably the biggest group of them. So yeah, like we could, well, I was gonna say, potentially take some of that stuff, but... Oh, there is another marker over here, so that's useful. This area is, yeah, as it turns out, reasonable amount of space that we do still have access to. That area up there, this area down here, and maybe even another one down here. Guardian Group Center Camp. Yeah. So this is the spot where everyone is supposedly reporting. And it certainly looks like it. It is a daunting thought, daunting sight to think that we've already run into many Nilfgaardians here, and yet, presumably there are many, many more over that wall there. So quite the army indeed. Quartermaster, though, is, at least in theory, in this direction here. What is it that you are looking down at? Miners as well? Hey, you got miners, you got lumberjacks, I'm assuming hunters. You're a prisoner of war. Okay, sorry about that. I suppose that they don't just hang all their prisoners of war, they do in fact have some of them doing hard labor. I was kind of curious as to whether we could perhaps loot some medals from them doing that stuff, but apparently not. This appears to be the way in. But I doubt we can make it through. So, you just did a 360? Okay, so this is a notice board, so we do want to check this out, of course. We'll see if there's any quests of note here. Probably would find that the monster that we already took out would have shown up here. Let's see what else there is. Notice, soldiers, in the last week alone, the field hospital has seen 5 cases of GLYPH and 3 of crabs. Therefore, from this day hence, I have ordered an absolute halt of all consorting with local women. Whoever is caught breaking this ban, or whoever is found bearing symptoms of the above-mentioned Cimmerian diseases during medical exams, will be flogged such that he won't even dream of lovemaking till long after the war ends. Okay? Announcement concerning slaves. Soldiers, let me remind you that the camp slaves are only to carry out orders given to them by officers. Their task is to help the cooks, engineers, and craftsmen. They will thus not be cleaning your tents, washing your linens, or scrubbing your chainmail. Any soldier caught misusing a slave to do his own duties will spend next month cleaning the latrines. Warning to defeatists. Let me remind you that spreading defeatism is a punishable offense. Do not dare suggest that we will lose. Utterances critical of the Emperor Emir van Emirates and his policies or undermining the decisions of our officers will be met with floggings, and inciting desertion or rebellion against orders with death. So yeah, again, the whole, like, they are super intense. Do one little thing wrong, and you're getting flogged. Do something very wrong, and you're getting hanged. Which I suppose, again, is, I mean, it's not super different from what is happening with the Redanians. It's just that, seemingly at least, Radovid and the Redanians can sort of distinguish between what are, for the most part, just normal, law-abiding citizens, and the people who they very much do not like, those being the mages. So, the average person in Redania, at least, I would think, would be okay, as long as you don't have any affiliation at all with mages or alchemists. Whereas, with Nilfgaard, I don't think anyone is sitting pretty and feeling comfortable with where they are at the moment, because one wrong word, one wrong action, and it could be your last. As for this one, the decree from Batier Duro to Army Group Center Command. Inform all soldiers. Temerian guerrillas are not to be attacked. What? Not attacking the Temerians? Any planned raids or ambushes are forbidden. They may be engaged in battle, yet only in self-defense. Redania is our greatest foe. Any and all violations of this order will be punishable as per paragraph 3, clause 10 of the Codex of War. That's an interesting one. Because, of course, we do know that there are certainly Temerians out there, and for the most part, they are using guerrilla warfare tactics because they are far less organized and far less plentiful as the Redanians are. So, I mean, perhaps that's good news for people like Roach who are trying to find a way to get Temeria back from the place where it currently is, that being in the dirt. But, I don't know as to whether the Nilfgaardians are actually going to abide by these rules and distinguish between Temerians and Redanians, and specifically only try to fight the Redanians. I have my doubts. But, interesting context. Looking for Ginger Muffin. By mistake, a letter was delivered to me that was meant for someone else. I've lost the envelope. The missive starts with the words, "My sweetest, tender Ginger Muffin," and is signed by your ever-loving little Goosey. Ginger Muffin, please report to Sergeant Gwen Frey. Yeah, Ginger Muffin, that is strictly forbidden. How dare you? After our last drill, someone mistakenly took my helmet instead of his own. Thus, I'm left with a bassinet that not only reeks like well-soiled hose, but also won't fit on my head for the life of me. My helmet had the letters HI engraved on the cap. Whoever took it, return it to me at once. Private First Class. Yeah, sorry, Hylid. There's an undiscovered location that we got out of that. Okay. Not sure what that was affiliated with, or anything that obviously stands out to us as new. Perhaps this. Don't know if that's where the helmet is gonna be, or something else that we just heard about. Not entirely sure. There's nothing that screamed, this is absolutely the most quest-like of notices there, but we'll check it out eventually. I think we will want to talk to the officer next, though. It's just a matter of, do we have anyone else to speak to first? And again, there's a ton of loot, yes, but it would probably be a death sentence.
False move and you will regret it.
Exactly. One false move, and things would not end well for us. Even if there's loot everywhere. So, I think in that case we probably do just head over, speak to this guy here, Quartermaster, Eggebrocht. Hello.
Who are you? Why do you sniff around here?
Looking for work.
Wait. 2 swords, eyes like slits. You are a witcher, is that so?
Geralt of Rivia.
Indeed.
I have not heard the name.
Oh,
But you will find work here.
you.
This I know.
Okay, so... Oh, you're also a shopkeeper and you play cards. Okay. Well, let's just open up with a little bit of small talk here. Yeah, so, like, I heard that you're, like, raiding this entire area and basically, enslaving all the civilians and whatnot, but been here long?
You look tired, Quartermaster. Been stationed here long?
Too long. But the day will come when the Emperor's banner will fly first over Novigrad, then over Tretigor, and we will all go home.
We know you're headed for Novigrad, yes. But we haven't heard much about Tretigor. As for... I feel like, yeah, let's talk to you first about what you have to buy and sell.
Show me what you're peddling.
Then maybe cards. Then we'll do the quest-related stuff. For Quartermaster, you certainly don't have much. That is a little bit sad. And that is level 18, so that's not terrible, but at the same time, all this other stuff is rather lackluster, and you only have 4 items, so the other shopkeepers are perhaps better quartermasters than you. Hate to break it to you.